So, tell me, I just started the recording, and just to tell you how I do it, I record the thing and then go back and splice it up either into pieces or whatever. So, we should.
Yeah, that works.
Hopefully, we both feel free to just have a real good conversation.
Yeah, I'm comfortable.
Okay, good. So, you're in a good spot.
Yes, sir.
So, tell me a little bit about you. I found out about your interest in or recent exposure to a thing called the law of attraction.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
I had a feeling.
So tell me what that means, how you came to learn about it, and what it has done for your life. How's that?
All right. Well, I'll sum it up for you. So, around 8th grade, I started hanging out with the wrong crowd, right?
Okay. 8th grade?
So I got into some... Yes, sir.
All right.
Okay, I started getting into some mischief and vandalism and curfews every night, like smoking weed at 8th grade. And yeah, I quit now. I'm clean.
Okay.
But how I learned was my dad got really disappointed with me, so I just started leaving the house and never coming back.
Okay.
And yeah, just one day
to avoid the confrontation with your dad?
Exactly, yes, sir.
All right, makes sense.
Okay, so just one day I was a sophomore. My friend went to Cancun for the weekend, and he told me I could have a few girls over, right?
Okay.
Ends up turning into a party, 35 people showing up. His next door neighbor is a sheriff, right?
That's more than a few girls, Aladdin.
Yeah, I know. Okay, let me just get into depth about this. It's going to take me a while.
Invariably, a few girls turns into, especially when somebody else is hosting the party. I think I've been there, done that, so I understand.
Yeah, I got with 2 girls that weekend at the house. I feel really bad about it.
It's all good. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, anyways, yeah, the point is, from there and on, after I threw a party at my best friend's house and I lost his trust, they abandoned me in my time of need, and I fell into a depression. I stopped going to school. I started smoking weed every day, and I got used to the release of dopamine, so I was never genuinely happy. And the only thing I thought about at school was weed. But now
Aladdin,
I think about my plans for the future.
How old were you when this? You said it kind of started in the 8th grade, but how old was this when you had the friend at your party's house? Like freshman, sophomore?
I was around 15 years old.
Jesus.
Yeah, right now I'm 17, about to turn 18 in June.
Okay. And you're a senior. You're a senior in high school.
I learned from it. I went to jail for assault. I'm not afraid to admit it. I was there from 12:27 a.m. to 6:02 p.m. at the Juvenile Detention Center.
Right.
And yeah, after that, I just knew I needed to change my life and do something different.
Okay. Were you particularly religious going into this event?
Yes, sir. Very Christian. Yes, sir.
All right.
Yeah, but I prefer not to talk about my faith until after I explain the whole story.
I understand.
But yeah, anyway. So I fell into a depression, and I knew I needed to change something, and I started watching Netflix every day because I never went to school, correct?
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, well, I started watching The Law of Attraction off of Netflix. There's a show on Netflix called The Secret.
Okay.
And it's what transformed my life.
Interesting. I'm not familiar, I will admit, but is it a series on Netflix or is it a movie?
An hour and 32 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, so yeah. Well, the law of attraction is basically the way you think. It's the way you attract things into your life. If you're a negative person, then negative things are going to show up.
Okay.
So say you're going to work and you have 10 minutes to make it. If you keep thinking you're going to be late and the red lights are going to show up, 9 out of 10 they are. It's not going to be your lucky day because it's just going to go downhill from there. And if you keep thinking bad, then more bad's going to show up. So every time you learn something, you move on and you let go of that thought.
Okay.
And the way that you do that is by saying, say I want to get a Ferrari, right?
Right.
Which I do, okay? And
I figured that was a dose of reality. Yep.
Yeah, like I'm a realist, just like you are.
I'm a Bentley guy myself, but go ahead.
Yeah, I know you're big league, but I'm trying to get there. So
No, Bentley.
We met for a reason.
No, Bentley, the automobile.
Oh, okay, that's good. My dad sells cars.
Okay.
Okay, well, anyway, yeah, so if you start thinking more positive about everything you do and you learn from your mistakes and just let go of those thoughts quickly,
yeah,
like, then most likely you won't hold on to, like, it's just, if you think bad, you're going to attract bad. Just know that.
right.
So you have to start thinking good. And I highly recommend The Law of Attraction, a.k.a. The Secret on Netflix, to anybody.
Okay.
And everybody that I meet.
Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, it sounds like it has a solid impact, no matter where you're coming from, when you start watching the flick.
Yeah, big time. Albert Einstein knew it. Thomas Edison, Thomas Jefferson, the founding fathers of America. Everybody. You know, Edwin actually failed his college entrance exam.
I did not know that.
And now you do. You learn something new every day.
There you go.
Exactly.
Speaking of that, are you planning on going to college after high school?
Yes, sir. I actually plan on going to either Navy, Air Force, or Army in 4 years as an officer.
Okay, we'll talk about that. How far down the road are you with have you written your congressman? Have you started out? I mean, when you talk about Navy, Air Force, you talking about the academies?
No, sir. I plan on going into college, getting a college degree, and then going to talk to the recruiters. But I've already spoken to 4.
Okay. I've got a friend of mine through the show that is already, he's a year ahead of you. He's just finished. He's just finishing his freshman year at Texas A&M, and he talked.
Congratulations for him!
Yep, he talked to them before he went to school. Talked to the recruiters, and got involved in the ROTC program with the help of the recruiters and the commission after he graduates and all that kind of stuff. After the show, I'll put the two of you guys together, and maybe it can be a good point of reference for you.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
He's a nice young man. So the law. I mean, there's other things.
I mean, if I get to meet you one day, hopefully,
I'm sure
I'll
you will.
Explain everything.
I'm sure you will. And the when you talk, this is real interesting that you're talking about it. I've heard. I know the same circumstances and the same approach. Since you're an athlete, are you familiar with golf at all?
Yes, sir. I actually work at a place called Golf Center.
Okay. So one of the things that is very difficult for amateur golfers to understand is when they come up to a hole that has like a water hazard in front of it or a sand trap in front of it or something like that.
Just give me that explanation and I'll already tell you how they're thinking and how it's going to affect them.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so say you're thinking worrying about missing the shot, right?
Right.
So you get nervous, you get anxiety, you get a headache, you come up with a million other excuses and only one solution to make it, right?
Right.
If you keep telling yourself you're not going to make it, most likely you're not. But if you keep practicing, you keep grinding, and you get your stuff together, you can achieve whatever you put your mind to.
That's right.
And I mean that.
No, I do. I know. I am a practitioner. I understand exactly what you're saying. So,
I know. I'm just trying to make myself clear with you.
You're doing a good job. You're doing a good job. So
thank you, sir.
That's exactly right. I mean, you have to literally block the vision of that water hazard. It doesn't exist. I mean, it's just not there.
Yeah.
And
you can't think about it. If
Nope.
it's in your way and you think about it, then it's just going to get in your way and ruin your plans for success.
It's like a magnet. It will
exactly like a magnet.
It will draw you to your thought, to the negative thought that you're trying to avoid. So I completely understand that. So what you're saying is it's a prescription for life in general. Okay.
Yes.
So do you adhere to the pay it forward concept of doing good for others and knowing that it will come back to you?
Oh, yeah. Just the other week, I picked up a dead cat off the street and put it in the middle of the median.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I do good things for everybody every single time I go out. Like, if I see an old lady who needs help or
Yep.
someone who needs to cross the street, I'll take it upon my own duty to do that before I have to do what I do.
So it becomes a way of life, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. It's highly addictive, and it's good for you. There's no way you can screw it up.
Well, I hope you're right about that. I'm not going to test the theory.
Yeah. I mean, if you think that it's not going to work, it's not going to work. I'm just being honest with you. You have to put everything you got into it.
Oh, that's right.
Make it work 100%.
No, it's a total belief system. It's
a belief system that you have to act upon and start doing things differently by. Like, just when you watch it, you have to completely transform your life just by the way you think.
There's a fellow by the name of Paul J. Meyer that is I don't know what exactly his title is, but he's a motivational type guy. In other words, he believes in what you're saying. And his pet phrase is that whatsoever you can imagine and actively pursue shall
He knows the law of attraction.
Inevitably come to pass. Right.
Exactly. I've watched Law of Attraction probably about 100 times.
He became a multimillionaire off of that phrase.
Well, I mean, if he can do it, I can do it, and so can you.
That's right, because he taught others the same principle.
Exactly, and that's so kind of him.
Well, so let's dive into something that's near and dear to me, and I've got a feeling you've got a little interest in. Let's talk politics. Let's talk the way the world is today, and kind of reflect on your, law of attraction training, and see how we could apply that. You are in the exact age category that, unfortunately, I guess the best term is it kind of concerns me that I don't see the same level of activism that my generation showed back in the 60s and the early 70s. And yet I'm beginning to see some of that come to the surface big
time.
Well,
I'm not even going to lie about that. Our generation is screwed. And
you may be. You're certainly behind the eight ball. That's for sure. None
of us know how to do anything. We're relying on our phones to memorize phone numbers. I memorize phone numbers in my head. I write everything down. I keep personal notes each day. I write down 4 Bible verses each day, every single day.
Okay. Are you aware?
Okay.
Yep. Do you know why that helps your memory?
Yep. Because I use my brain more than anybody else does. And I'm putting in my head that I can use more than I'm capable of.
Right.
And if I believe it, I can do it. Like, we only use 10% of our brain. And it's amazing how far you can go with that 10%.
That's right. Well, the reason writing things down helps you is there's a thing called tactile feedback that occurs when you write. Your memory is substantially increased writing versus typing it into a computer. You lose that tactile feedback to your brain when you use a keyboard, which is why.
Yeah, I try to keep a notepad on me at all times, but when I'm working out, I don't carry it around with me because I look like an idiot.
Well, I don't know about that, but I don't think so. But I understand where you're coming from. I keep a calendar with me, and I always, in other words, I will put things into my computerized calendar, but I also transfer it into a handwritten calendar. Because I found that if I just put it in the computer, I have a tendency to forget it, and if my computer doesn't notify me, or everything's all hooked together, the computer, the phone, the pad, the whole 9 yards. So if one of those,
the whole 9 yards. I use it every single day of my life. I charge my phone 3 to 4 times a day.
Well, we have to. I mean, we in order to communicate with your peers and in order to get the word out across a broad basis, I mean, that's exactly what I do. I'm but I'm way out of character with my age group and far more in tune with your age group, which I like. I've been in computers since 1978, and
That's
so
awesome.
yeah, kind of. But it has made me very aware and conscious, and I always try to stay up to date. I went from being a true technician, a guy that writes the code and makes things happen, over to just being a consumer like you. So
yes, sir. Well, I hope to achieve what you've already achieved and much more.
Just understand that there's no rush. I don't know whether you know anything about my background. I didn't become a doc until I was 63. So
really,
yeah, I went back to school. I got my undergrad degree when I started out at the Naval Academy, right out of high school, and then I wound up finishing my undergrad degree at Texas A&M when I was 33. I got my MBA when I was 58, and then I went back and I went right after my MBA and finished my PhD at 63. So that was my whole I had a stroke when I was 42 years old.
Well, God bless you, sir.
Thanks. Paralyzed.
You're welcome. Yeah, you've definitely been through it all, and you've worked your whole life up to what you are now, and getting a doctor's degree or a PhD degree at age 53 is not easy, and I understand that, and I admire you for that.
That's not even the best of it, Aladdin. I learned how to snowboard at 68.
Yeah, you got to teach me how to snowboard. I've never been.
It's the hardest. Since I know you're working out and I know you're a bit of a jock, it is the hardest thing I have ever learned to do.
I always skate. I got into skating around 6th grade when I fell into the wrong crowd, and I used to smoke dope and skateboard every single day with a beanie on and earrings in my ear. My dad would call me a faggot. Like, he tormented me, and I'm not even going to lie about it.
So, well, it was frustrating for him, too, because he didn't know how to approach you.
Yeah, but, I mean, honestly, he was one of the kids out of 10 brothers and one sister. And he was the caregiver, basically, because his dad was always out of town. And he lived in Amman, Jordan. My ancestors are actually from Jaffa and Israel right now.
Okay.
And back in the day, before 48 happened, before the war in 48.
Right.
It was called Palestine, right?
Yes, sir.
My dad's really big on that. Honestly, I just know the history because it's my family. But, yeah, after that, they left some land over there.
Yeah.
And then they went over to Jordan and then started a new life there. So my dad left the house at 17 years old. He came to Houston. Actually, he went to Bulgaria, went to college for 2 years, and then he came to the U.S. But while he was in Bulgaria, he went to the Black Sea where he was rafting. And he was praying to God that the storm would stop because him and his buddy only knew how to swim in light waters and they didn't have any life jackets on. And they were praying to God that the storm would pass. And I just recently started looking at tattoos because I'm about to turn 18. But there's this phrase in Arabic it says, "This storm will pass." And I'm planning on getting it tattooed over my heart, on my chest. Because it means a lot to my dad, and he's totally and completely against tattoos. But the second I turn 18, he knows that I'm going to rebel against him because I've rebelled my whole life.
It's not a matter. I understand. Our generation, your dad's and mine, and he's probably younger than I am. But for some reason, your generation has really taken up the body art tattoo banner. And
yeah, I'm not trying to get like straight tatted with snapbacks and tattoos, but
it's really confusing to us. Just to tell you,
big time.
It's really confusing. The worst we did, we grew our hair out. We grew, but we grew things we did things that could be changed, and tattoos are very permanent. Do you know the story of what was his name? Lee Trevino, the golfer.
Ren, you know who Lee Trevino is? Never mind. Sorry, go ahead.
That's all right. He was a PGA Tour champion and just a phenomenal golfer that came on the scene. They made him, if you go back and look him up on YouTube, you will see a Band-Aid on his forearm. They made him cover his tattoo to play on the PGA Tour. I'm just saying, So it's not just your dad. It's a whole it's a whole group. Now that group has softened substantially,
Big time.
but we still don't thoroughly understand, and it's just kind of beyond us. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah, it's just the new age and the new generation, and we're completely different than y'all. And
Yep.
I mean,
and you're hell bent to prove it.
Yeah,
just
big time. I completely agree.
Just like we were. That's cool. That's good.
Have you ever heard of Woodstock?
Oh, sure. Have I heard of Woodstock?
Yeah.
You want to see the pictures of me there?
Oh, yeah. That'd be great.
I'm extremely familiar with Woodstock and all it did for us.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but see, that's the sort of thing you mentioned that, and that was somewhat. It started out as somewhat of a protest movement against the authorities of the day and anti-Vietnam and anti-war, et cetera, et cetera.
So it just became a hippie fest, basically, right?
Yeah, but everybody just got messed up. I mean, you know, and it got.
Oh yeah, I'm not even gonna lie. My friend's mother told me she took real hits of LSD there.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it was all around everywhere, like it was nothing. And now, what the law is and how they've changed it and completely transformed it and bended the law. It's scary, actually, because a lot of kids are going to start going to jail. And, I mean, I know a lot of people, but I'm worried about them.
There's got to be a way, and I think that you are totally onto something with your law of attraction. There's the best way to help your peers or influence your peers.
I just try to help my friends every single day.
But the best way to do that is through is what's called a third-party reference. In other words, if you don't believe me, go watch this. Sort of the way you...
Exactly what I bring it back to with the law of attraction. I went to a movie with my friend that I didn't even want to see. It was some anime that was playing in the U.S. for the first time. It was going to come out next month, right?
Right.
Okay, so we go there, and I was there for maybe 30 minutes, and then I left, and then I did something, came back, and they were doing a drawing for the movie. And out of 115 people, I was that one to win because I had no doubts in my mind that I was going to win. And my friend won stickers, and the guy next to him won stickers, and it was 3 in a row, just straight lucky.
That's cool.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, I can tell you a lot about the law of attraction, but I don't want to waste your time on the phone.
Well, you're not wasting my time. The idea is for our listeners to understand, you know, how important it is to approach life with a positive attitude. And
exactly.
By the way, let's go all the way back to your tattoo. My favorite phrase is this too shall pass.
Yes, sir. I'm familiar with it.
But understand that may not just be a storm. That also applies to good. In other words, you can ride a wave, a high wave, you know, one that's going real well. But it may also come to a halt, and then, you know, so you got to be prepared to go both up and down.
I am, exactly.
I know you are.
When you watch The Secret, you know everything that you need to know to succeed at life.
So you hesitated to talk about your Christian faith until we had covered a bunch of ground. So how deep is that? Have you been going since you were quite a youngster, I would assume?
Okay, well, my dad raised me as a Muslim. He took me to the mosque, but he never taught me how to pray.
Okay.
Right? I never really held on to it. I never thought anything of it. I just went. They have this celebration, kind of like Christmas, called Eid.
Right.
And my dad would make me go every single day with him. And there's one day each year, and he would make me go every single year. And I hated it so much. Right. Because I just grew up hating my whole culture just because the way my dad treated me, because it was so old-fashioned and different. And I hated it so much. Like, I just left the house, didn't say anything. And
do you still feel that way, Aladdin?
Excuse me, sir?
Do you still feel that way?
No, sir, not at all. I completely fixed all my issues with my family, my sister, my little brother, my friends. everything's 100 times better than it used to be.
Okay.
Even before I started the party.
Gotcha.
Okay.
But he was taking you to a mosque. Is he Muslim?
Yes, sir, he is. He's very religious.
Okay.
And, I mean, 8th grade, I started going to church with my best friend, Kingston Nelson, and Vin Pham.
But
we used to go every Wednesday after school. It was at Kingsland Baptist off of Kingsland and South Side, yeah. So
Okay.
it's off of Kingsland, right down the street from Taylor High School, Katy Taylor High School.
got it. Now, is your mom Christian or are they both Muslim?
They're both Muslim, but I mean, I just started going to church and I started reading the Bible. I spent over $100 on religious things
Yep.
and rosary and crosses, Bibles, anything I
Interesting.
needed, a Jesus journal.
Well, interesting. Was that part? Do you think that was part of your rebellion, your parental rebellion against? Also, I mean, taking it out all the way out to include religion.
At first, yes, but then it changed and it
Okay.
became a part of me.
Okay, and they respect that.
Yeah, they have to by law when I turn 18. I mean, they just told me to believe in God, and that's all they have to tell me about it.
Okay,
Because they calmed down. They used to yell at me for having earrings. Right now, I only wear a left earring, and I don't care. I'm not taking it out. My dad's not going to make me. I'm going to move out in 2 months anyway. I have a job. I'm working 5 days a week, making about $300 to $400 a week, depending on the hours I put in. I throw down on an apartment with my buddies, Eric, Hannah, and Nihol, and we spend about $1,500 a month on expenses for
okay,
food, electricity, all that. I took that into consideration, and I wrote this all down. I'm very organized about everything I do. And my room is so neat, you cannot even see a paper clip on the ground.
good for you.
Thank you.
So basically, what you've done is since you hit this bottom, you bottomed out, got yourself
Rock bottom.
rock bottom, got yourself into a bit of trouble, a little bit of a scrape, as you put it, mostly mischievous oriented, but it went too far. And how did you find out about the secret? Was that through some counseling or through a friend, or where did that come from to start turning you around?
Yeah, my therapist. I started going to therapy of April 2014. Her name is Larissa Edwards. She's the best therapist I have ever met.
Okay. Now,
I've been to about 4 or 5, and she's the best one.
okay, so she cracked the code of talking to Aladdin.
Big time, yeah. She's at Champions Real Estate. She has her own private office. I can give you her phone number if you need to, and we can go back and look at all my logs if you really want to go that far with it.
No, not at all.
'Cause I'm down. I'm down, though.
Yeah, I get it. No, it's not. Nah, I'm not sure. I mean, it's just more of a point of interest for me. Like,
oh yeah, she taught me about the law of attraction through other teaching methods, and I actually was scrolling through Netflix one day and just saw it.
wow. Well, now
luck of the draw. God wanted me to see it. God wanted this to happen, and I believe God made me meet your wife last night, and I think this is all planned.
Well, there's a lot of things that are God things, and we just have to give into that. You
Big
got
time.
you
Faith
got
is number one in my life.
Well, you got to be ready to receive it, and then then you have to be ready to act on it, or just let it go. Just let it happen to you. Let it kind of.
Either you let it go, or you grab it and you hold on to it your whole life, because
what I meant
you're
by
going to remember your life.
What I meant by let it go was not turn it away, but just kind of let it fall over you. In other words,
let it take care of you. Let it support you when you fall. Whenever you fall, you pray, and you will get better.
I have this interesting relationship that from time to time, when I am down or confused or whatever, and we all get there, I do. Yeah. I have my God conversations like, okay, I know you're paying attention, and I know you know what's going on. You want to give me a clue? Very informal type conversations. They seem to work for me.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I mean, whatever relationship you establish, it's important. So,
I mean, I'm trying to have a professional relationship with you and work with you, hopefully. And I mean, I just want to spread the message.
That's what it's about. So here's what we're going to do. I mean, we've got some real good, valuable conversation time. I will let you know absolutely how to listen to it when we get it out there on the air. It may well be this coming Thursday. I do a live broadcast, which means I go live and I insert pre-recorded conversations in there as if they're live. Just because the technology is such, I don't work out of a big studio. I work out of my house. So I don't like
that's amazing. Good for you, sir.
I don't like to be dependent upon the technology during my live broadcast. So that's why
like my dad.
I pre-record. So, but I will let you know about it, and you can tell friends, family, neighbors, etc., and how to tune into it. As I think I told you.
I'll put it on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. You name it, I got it.
There you go. We will spread the word, and that will give you a chance to spread the word. And, I will host that in a very, very proudly. I appreciate who you are, what you're doing, where you've come from, and I'll do all I can to facilitate the next step. How's that?
Thank you, sir. I hope to meet you one day.
Well, I'm sure you will. And I'm gonna hook you up with this friend of mine that's over at Texas A&M about his ROTC
I'd love to talk
program.
To him about the Navy.
Sounds like something you need to do.
Yes, sir. Okay. Well, you have a great day. Stay blessed.
I appreciate your time. Be sure and tell Elliot and Josh I said hello.
Oh yeah, I will.
I know they were there with you tonight. Maybe they're with you right now.
Oh, no, they're not.
Okay.
They don't like to work out. They're more of the meditation type.
They don't understand.
A little bit of Woodstock kids, if you know what I mean.
I do. I know exactly what you mean. That's okay. It takes
low key between me and you, sir.
It takes all types.
Yes.
Aladdin, thank you very much for what you're doing, man. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for. It's honestly an honor to meet you and an honor to finally talk to you about this, and I'm ready to spread it.
We'll get the word out. Thanks, man.
All right, thank you.
See you soon.
Just give it out like Raider Rush.
There you go. See you soon, man.
All right, see you, sir.
Yes, sir. Bye-bye.
Bye.